Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. Just been going with the motions. Haven't really felt like picking my camera up very much, but I am in the process of starting the 2026 garden, and I just really wanted to bring you along. I've already got a few things started upstairs, and I'm actually starting to harden off some of my lettuce so I can get that out and make room for more things. And I've got some seeds that I want to get started today, some outside and some for inside. And so I'm just making some tea, and because it's sunny, but it's a little bit breezy and a little chilly, so I want something warm to drink out there. And then I want to get my pots kind of cleaned up, the pot area here on my patio, and I want to trim down all of my oregano to get ready for new growth, to put on new growth. There's just a few things I want to get cleaned up. But yeah, it's a beautiful day, and I wanted to bring you guys along. I'm also going to be starting some indoor sprouts for a blog post that I'm writing on how to grow your own indoor sprouts. It's something that I've been really loving, and I actually have some microgreens here on the windowsill that I'll show you in a second, that are ready to be harvested, so I can have those with eggs and stuff. Very excited for that, but let me show that to you really quick, and I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea, and then we're going to get outside. Excuse the mess. So here are the sprouts. This is actually a microgreen mix from Botanical Interests, and I think there's some broccoli, some cauliflower, and some other different types of greens in here, but it's super good. It's kind of peppery, which I love. And they're just doing so well. They're ready to be harvested, so I'll probably harvest them later and just save them in the refrigerator. But I'll show you my process of starting sprouts, which you don't need soil for, in a little while. Here's my lettuce so far. My seedlings are getting quite leggy upstairs, so I need to figure that out. I think that my grow lights are a little far from them, so I think I'm gonna maybe go to the hardware store and see if I can find some chains and some hooks, so it makes it easier to adjust the height. As you can see, this is Butter Crunch here, and it looks very leggy. I did the Marvel of Four Seasons. I have transplanted, so there's only a few per cell here. And then my red sales lettuce here is looking really good. But I'm just getting them out today, giving them a little bit of sun. Hopefully it'll perk them up. I'm gonna try and thin the Butter Crunch and see if there's anything that I can salvage, and maybe thin the red sales and possibly the Marvel of Four Seasons a little more. I like to start lettuce inside or in like February, because then I have lettuce coming, and then I did do succession sowing last year, so I'm going to try that again this year, and then we will have lettuce for the majority of the spring season, which we love fresh lettuce from the garden. We have a naughty cat in the garden window here. He knows he's not supposed to be there, but he does love to sunbathe, so that's probably why he's there. He's just very curious. He also wants to get out. Oh, hello, Theo. So cute. My tea today is from Celestial Seasonings, and it's actually one of their holiday teas. It's the sugar cookie, and it's so delicious, and it's herbal, so it's like perfect. It'll keep me warm. It's got a little bit like a really nice sweetness to it, but it tastes exactly like a sugar cookie. So if you see it next year when it comes out, I highly recommend. Okay, so I'm just referencing my garden plan, my seed starting plan here. Today it looks like I'm starting kale for inside, Swiss chard for inside, drumstick flowers for inside, and I'm starting chamomile outside, parsley outside, and I'm going to spread some poppy seeds as well. I've got a few new varieties, which is really exciting. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be starting today. I didn't do parsley last year, and I regretted it. Sometimes I feel like whenever I have parsley in the garden, I don't use it as much as I thought I would, but then when I don't have it, I kind of miss having it. So, all right, so we're starting all these outside. Let me show you the varieties that we're starting. So these are the drumstick flowers. They're really fun. I'm really hoping that I get some of these. Then for poppies, we've got this beautiful, like frizzy looking one called Black Swan. Some Icelandic poppies. And these ones are called Lauren's Grape. They are just so beautiful, and I really would love to see more of these in my garden. For chamomile, we're just doing our regular German chamomile. And I had great success with this last year. And it was actually a great trap crop for aphids, which was unfortunate because then I wasn't able to harvest as much chamomile. But my goal is to be able to harvest more this year and make my own tea blends. And then we're just doing regular flat leaf parsley. And then the 5-color silver beet Swiss chard. And I have this kale blend. There's like 5 different types in it. So hopefully we'll have some success with this as well. I also have a new setup this year. In years past, I've just done it on this table, but this year I got one of these cool little mats that hold all the soil in. It's less soil waste, and it just keeps my table cleaner, which is nice. And then I got these new, more like hardy seed cells. I still have my old seed starting stuff, but some of those little cells they're just destroyed. So I wanted to get some more of these, and these will last me years, whereas I do have a few of the biodegradable ones, but I'm going to be saving those for like pumpkins and squash and also some sunflowers. So I think these will last me quite a while. They're very durable, and I also got some new trays, like 3 new flat trays. But I still have my other ones too, which I'll be utilizing whenever I run out of these. I only bought 3 of those black trays, which I would have got maybe 4 or 5, but that's okay. But yeah, so this is my new setup, and I'm just gonna drink my tea and get my seeds started, the ones for inside here, and then I'll take you around the yard and show you where I'm planting the parsley, the chamomile, and the poppies. So these Swiss chard, it says to hasten and improve germination, soak seeds for 2 to 24 hours before sowing. So I'm actually going to follow those instructions and get some of these soaked. I don't want a ton of Swiss chard, we don't need a lot of it, but I really love it in stir fries and with eggs in the morning. So I am just gonna do probably 2 seeds. No, I'm just gonna do 1 seed per cell. But so I really want to like make sure that the germination is good. These are fresh, like new seeds. So I'm going to get 6 of these soaking. And then we also don't need a ton of kale, but I love kale as well. You can make kale chips. I love it sauteed with mushrooms and garlic. Love it with eggs. So I'm just going to do 6 cells for this. And this actually recommends to sow before last frost, or your average last frost, which ours in my area is March 29th. So it's February 28th as I'm filming this. So that's 4 weeks. And so I'm going to, it says, yeah. So I'm going to sprinkle a few in each cell and then I'll thin. I really want to focus on thinning this year. I need to be ruthless. Last year I ended up with so many tomato plants and so many squash. So, and this year I need to really be ruthless because I'm trying a ton of different types of squash, and I'll bring you along for that. Growing pumpkins last year like brought me so much joy, actually the last 2 years. And I had great success with a few different varieties, but not so much with others. So I'm trying again. But I'm also adding a few different types of squash. And my favorite last year I did black beauty zucchini, which did actually pretty well for me. But this year I'm trying a variety that I did 2 years ago that did really well for me as well. And they're just like, it's like an Italian variety, and it's so good when you get them at the perfect size, like when they're small. And so I'm really excited to do that. And I've got my garlic is looking super great, and I've got spinach started in the garden. It hasn't sprouted yet. I'm not too concerned. I watered it yesterday. We haven't really gotten a lot of rain, but we have a lot of rain expected in the coming weeks. That happens this time of year, but we've had like a really mild and beautiful winter here in our area, and I mean all of my plants outside have been responding to that. Like I have daffodils sprouting, my camellia bush is already sprouted, crocus came in super early this year, and yeah, so it's just been a joy to be out here on beautiful sunny days. Cool, a little, like, it's been chilly, but not like, we haven't got any snow. We had like a light dusting, and it has, like, there's been some days where the temperatures have been very cold, but for the most part, like, super mild. Like, this is February. Sometimes it rains a lot in February. It didn't this year. And February is usually when we get snow, and so I'm not expecting any snow. I'm not expecting any harsh freezes in March, so I think we'll have a really great jump start on the spring garden this year. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to get this kale started and then get those seeds soaking. Actually, I'm going to do those first, and then I'll catch up with you, and I'll show you where I'm planting out my parsley and my chamomile, and I'll show you where I'm going to spread out some poppy seeds as well. Right, so this is usually my tomato bed. And I know that a lot of people talk about crop rotation, but I don't. I have this bed and that bed and my bed over by the fence, and this bed is the one that gets the most sun, and so that's why I just don't have the luxury of crop rotation at the moment in this yard. So that's why I keep doing it, but I've never really had issues. And I keep a really good eye on my tomatoes. I do a lot of pruning and everything, so I've never had an issue. This year I am going to put my trellis back up and do some green beans this summer. I might. I haven't fully decided, but this area I usually like to I put flowers a lot on the outside of this, and this year I'm going to do some chamomile here and I think I'm going to do my parsley right over here. I'm not doing potatoes again this year. I really wanted to, but I have a lot of other things that I really want to try, including the new varieties of squash, and I also have some new varieties of tomatoes. So right here, I'm just going to I'm going to plant my parsley seeds, a few, and then I'm going to do some chamomile here and some chamomile on that side, and I might do parsley on that side too, but for now, let's get started with this section. This is also the section where I feed my birds over here, and so I'm going to get my little cloches that I picked up last year from the thrift store, and because the chamomile especially is surface sown, so you just press it in, and I don't want the birds to eat my chamomile. So, and I've tried starting chamomile inside, it just doesn't do well for me. So that's how I'm going to try and deter the birds from eating them. I think the parsley should be okay, but chamomile especially will need some protection. And I'm just going to do a little bit of parsley because one plant will last you. We had one plant of parsley one year that lasted us through the winter, and if we have another mild winter like this next year, I think it would last all the way till spring. It does get a little woody, but if you keep harvesting from it, it will keep providing. So I'm going to actually make a plant tag for the parsley so I remember where I put it. So I'm going to do a little bit here and a little bit over there, and then get this all watered in, and then I'll show you where we're going to plant the poppies. This is the bed off my patio, and I can see a lot of California poppies coming up, and they do so well in this area. I've also got these beautiful red poppies here, but I just want to add a few more. This is a peony plant. I've got some crocus here, so much oregano and garlic chives that have spread, which I'm not mad about. And this is the bed that I like to put a lot of flowers in because it's right off the patio. I can see it from the kitchen. It just brings me so much joy in late summer and early fall, you know, when the weather starts getting not so great, but it's just so whimsical to look out at cosmos and calendula, and I'm just really looking forward to having some different varieties of flowers to look at this year, and hopefully these poppy seeds will take. I'm gonna kind of disturb the soil, the surface of the soil a little bit to see if I can get that. And then also, last year, I don't know if I brought you along with it or not. I don't think I did because it was after my dad died and I wasn't really filming a lot. I redid this bed over here by my raised beds, and I think I might sprinkle some poppies in there too. Since they like to reseed themselves, I think it'd be really fun to have some poppies over there as well. So for the poppies, it says to scatter and rake in. So I'm going to sprinkle these out and then just kind of rake them in because they don't need to be buried too much. So I'm going to just spread them out. And then I'll show you the two other places where I want to try and get some more poppies to grow. I'm going to start with these black swan ones, these little frilly ones. I think these would be so beautiful. And I think I'm also going to put some of these Icelandic poppies in as well. So this area has my chives, and then I planted some clearance rack daffodils that are coming up. And I also put some bulbs in here. There's some allium bulbs in here, and I think some anemones around the edge. Not a lot of them have come up, so I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I think this area right here would be really fun. See, I don't know. I think it'd be really fun to have some poppies here. But I also kind of wanted to do like an in-ground thyme plant or something like that. So I might just keep it to one little area, maybe over here too by the tree would be really fun next to my blueberry plant. But yeah, let's see. I think in this area we'll do these Lauren's grape ones. I think these are so pretty. I think for this area now, I will I'll just do this area with the poppies and see how they come up. And then if I want, I'll maybe go over here, like back here with some, but I'm thinking I might want to put like a thyme plant somewhere in here. The ones that are in my pots, they've lasted a really long time. I don't think they love being in pots. I think it would like thrive here. This chive thrives. This chive right here thrives, and I would love to have a thyme plant that looks healthy and thrives as well. So then we have this area. It is full of grass, but it's got a ton of little crocuses as well. It's behind our pergola, and it's just looked really bad. And like every year I'm like, I'm gonna finally get to that area, get it cleaned out. Well, I'm gonna try that again this year, but in the meantime, I'm gonna try and like plant some, because right in this area we've got really beautiful baby pink poppies that come up and they're just gorgeous every year. So I'm gonna try and add a bit more color, and maybe it'll kind of choke out the grass. That might be a stupid solution, but we've just got so much, and there's moss in here. So I'm gonna get rid of some of this grass right here and add poppies. I'm just gonna add a few, like a little bit now, and see how it goes. But then if it is successful, I'm definitely gonna come through and clean this area up really well and add more color. I love the crocuses back here. They've spread from up front of the pergola, so I don't want to disturb them too much right now. And so maybe in the fall, once they're back underground, I'll clean this area up even more and then plant more poppies. All right, so we've got everything done. Well, all the seeds started or planted that I wanted to out here. So, and my battery is dying, and since I haven't filmed for so long, my other batteries are also at 0 charge. So I have to get those charged. So I'm gonna get cleaned up out here. I'm gonna clean up some of my oregano too off camera, because it doesn't really, that's just not fun to watch. But I'll catch up with you inside once one of my batteries has fully charged, and we'll get some sprouts started, and I can start walking you through that process, and I'll definitely share updates with it. I don't know if I've shared that on here. I haven't done videos in so long. I don't know what I've shared and what I haven't. But anyways, I'm gonna get cleaned up here, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. We're back in the kitchen. I've got everything cleaned up out there. I actually got all of my oregano kind of like trimmed, and then I also went and trimmed my hydrangea on this side of the house so that we'll get some beautiful blooms on it this year. And now I'm in here and I'm gonna get some sprouts started. All you need for sprouts is, I just bought this kit on Amazon. It comes with 2 of these mason jars with these lids with a kind of a mesh top, and then a little tray with a stand, and I'll show you what that's for probably in the next vlog. And then it comes with this little tray. And then I just bought some broccoli seeds. These are specifically sprout seeds, but you can use broccoli seeds from the hardware store or whatever you have on hand. And there's also a ton of different varieties. I mean, you could have sprouts of all, like you could do, I have radish sprout, I have radish seeds also, and sunflower sprouts, which I haven't tried yet, but today I'm going to stick with broccoli. Broccoli is super nutritious, the sprouts especially, and I am working on a blog post, and that will be coming at you, and once it does, I will definitely link it in the description box below. But for today, I am going to start just 1 jar of broccoli seeds, or broccoli sprouts, because I'm really the only one that is interested in eating them. My husband might, but it's more me. But anyways, so I'm going to start with, I'm going to take this lid off. Excuse the bag. My cat, for some reason, thought these were food. This was his food, so there's holes in my broccoli sprout seed bag, and there's also a hole in this bag too, which is unfortunate, but it's working. So all I'm going to start with is 1 tablespoon. You can do 1 to 2 tablespoons of seeds, but I'm going to do 1 because I did 2 last time and it was just a lot. So, and we'll put them in the jar. So once the seeds are in the jar, I'm going to fill it up to about halfway just to make sure that all the seeds are incorporated into the water. And then if you see any clumps, kind of like stir it around. So I put the lid back on. It's halfway full. I kind of mixed them around to get rid of any clumps of seeds. And I'm just gonna set it here in this tray, just like this, for 8 to 12 hours. And then we'll do our first rinse cycle. It's about 3 o'clock. Definitely not gonna do this at 3 a.m. So that would be midnight. Honestly, I'll probably just wait until I wake up in the morning because there's really no exact science. They recommend 8 to 12 hours, but I think if they soak for a little longer, that's okay. I usually wake up around 7 or 8, so that'll be perfect. But yeah, I will share that in the next vlog. I'll share all the steps with you. And then, like I said, I'll definitely, once the blog post is live, I will link that in the description box. You're not supposed to sit these in direct sunlight. Unfortunately, my kitchen window gets a lot of direct sunlight, so I'm just going to set it over here by our soda stream, and they did perfect there last time I did this, so I think that'll work just fine now. And that's going to be it from me for this video. I hope that you enjoyed coming along while I started some more seeds for the upcoming gardening season and got some fun seeds started outside as well. And also I hope that you'll follow along for more of the sprouting process for indoor sprouts. Sprouts are so nutritious for you, and I'm really looking forward to delving more into different types of sprouts. Like I said, I have radish and broccoli and sunflower. I've never had sunflower sprouts, so I'm thinking that might be my next one that I try. But yeah, if you love gardening content, just slow or busy days in the garden, or you love kind of like the homey bits, like lifestyle stuff that I do around my house or even outside, then I think that you'll really love this channel. And if you do, I would love it if you would subscribe so you don't miss any more of my future uploads. If you liked today's video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, as it really supports the channel. And yeah, I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.